Marcarita went completely blank. She had absolutely nothing to say. Goku had discovered the truth far too soon. The passing seconds felt like an eternity. She knew a single misstep, or a single small error would ruin everything she had worked so hard for. The only person she cared about could begin to hate her right at this very moment. Goku demanded an answer. He asked her what the marks were. He stepped closer to his wife. She slowly watched as destiny turned against her. Marcarita stammered nervously. Her voice shook violently. Her hands trembled. Her soul was consumed by the terrifying fear of losing everything. Goku stood directly in front of her. He stared at her with deadly serious eyes. This only worsened her panic. She could not articulate a single word. Goku glanced to her right and noticed her staff. The essential tool of an angel had changed. It had taken on a sinister shape. It was as black as the void of space. The familiar blue orb had been replaced by a crimson one that radiated immense malice. Without a second thought, Goku reached for the staff. Marcarita grabbed it first. She desperately used her magic to revert it to its normal appearance. It was a futile attempt to hide what could no longer be hidden. Goku asked her what she had done. His words struck her heart like spears. They were heavy with profound sadness and disappointment. Marcarita pleaded with him to let her explain. Goku cut her off. He commanded her to undo whatever she had done to the planet. He could feel a barrier covering the sky. He ordered her to remove it. Marcarita refused. She said she could not and would not do it. Goku grew incredibly stern. He told her it was a direct order. He warned her as a god of destruction not to make him repeat himself. Marcarita could not believe what she was hearing. The man who had never raised his voice to her and never looked at her with such anger was now issuing an authoritative command. Defeated, she lowered her head. She raised her staff and destroyed the illusion that hid the truth. The Saiyan suffered a massive shock. The night sky revealed the absolute horrors of reality. With his nearly divine vision, he surveyed the surrounding space. He saw nothing but utter destruction and death. He could barely comprehend that the woman he loved so deeply had caused all of this. Marcarita dropped to her knees. She was completely broken. Everything was lost. She knew he would leave her now, and nothing could stop him. She thought to herself that her perfect future was fading away. Marcarita knew her actions were unforgivable, but she did not regret them. She had done it all out of the terrifying fear that her husband would leave her again. Her dark side had taken full control. The sweet and gentle angel was locked away deep inside her soul. She braced herself for the inevitable. She knew Goku would prioritize the lives of others over his own happiness. He would drag her to the feet of Grand Zeno to face her punishment. But then something completely unexpected happened. Her thoughts halted when she looked up. Goku stood in front of her. He looked down at her with his characteristic warm eyes and gentle smile. She asked him what he was doing. Goku smiled and said the only thing he could do when his wife was sad was comfort her. The Saiyan pulled the angel against his chest and hugged her tightly. Marcarita broke down and began to sob uncontrollably. She cried that he was not supposed to find out yet. He was supposed to stay on the planet until she finished everything. He was never meant to see the monster she had become. Goku asked what monster she was talking about. He claimed he only saw his beautiful wife whom he loved so deeply. Marcarita confessed she had gone completely insane. She said the person she used to be was buried so deep she would never return. The mere thought of someone taking him away from her made her sick. It made her want to destroy everything. She promised to annihilate angels and gods, and even Grand Zeno if they got in her way. Goku simply held her tighter. He begged for her forgiveness. He blamed himself for everything. He said it was his fault for not realizing the consequences of getting involved with seals. He apologized for causing her so much suffering. He declared he was the one who killed the sweet angel he loved. He desperately asked her to forgive him. Marcarita smiled through her tears. She told him there was nothing to forgive. She declared they were both guilty. Now everyone was against them, and there was no turning back. They stood up and looked deeply into the eyes of one another. She asked Goku when they would leave. She assumed he would take her to the Supreme God. Goku asked what she meant. He swore he was not going anywhere. She was his wife. When they married, he swore to be with her through good times and bad. He reminded her she just said it was the two of them against everyone else. He promised never to leave her alone. He swore to support her in everything despite what she had done. He considered this his punishment for making her suffer. He promised to do whatever she asked. Even if they were defeated, he swore they would always be together. Marcarita could not believe it. Her husband had a heart of pure gold, yet he fully supported her sinister plan. He proved his absolute love for her. Overwhelmed by emotion, Marcarita pulled him close. They shared a tender and passionate kiss. The kiss proved their unbreakable bond, but it also signed their death warrants. They both smiled. Suddenly the agonizing pain from the dark energy flared up again. She reached for the vial of medicine, but Goku gently stopped her. He told her not to worry about it anymore. A warm red aura erupted from his body and enveloped Marcarita. It healed her completely and erased every physical trace of her injuries. She asked what he had done. Goku simply said he did not want his wife to suffer from battle wounds anymore. He thought to himself that this was the battle he had unknowingly started. Everything had changed. From a distance, Vatis witnessed part of the exchange. Her eyes were filled with pure terror and anguish. Her plan had failed completely. The days of her sister and Goku were now definitively numbered. A massive battle was on the horizon. A battle that would alter everything. The gods and angels would fight for peace and harmony across the multiverse. The Saiyan and his beloved angel would fight to destroy it all just so nothing could ever separate them. At the palace of Grand Zeno, all the angels and gods of destruction stood in formation outside. The Omni Kings and the Grand Priest stood before them. They all wore serious expressions that demanded absolute respect and fear. Whis wondered why they had been summoned. Beerus admitted he did not know, but he assumed it must be incredibly important to pull them all away from protecting their universes against the demons. Jampa pointed out something strange. Goku was missing. Beerus realized his brother was right. The Grand Priest ordered absolute silence. Every god immediately stood at attention. The Grand Priest acknowledged they must be wondering about the emergency summons. He promised to answer all their questions. The first Grand Zeno announced the current situation was dire. In fact, it was the worst crisis in millions of years. The second Grand Zeno stated an angel had rebelled against him, and therefore against everyone. The first Grand Zeno noted that despite the search orders they had found no trace of her. The gods apologized profusely. The second Grand Zeno told them not to worry. Her location had been completely unknown until now. The Grand Priest revealed that after an exhaustive search they finally tracked her down. It was their chance to stop Marcarita and Goku. Beerus questioned the involvement of Goku. The Grand Priest confirmed that the newly appointed god of destruction had sided with Marcarita. He was now an enemy threat. Beerus argued that was impossible. He knew Goku well and insisted he would never support the insanity of Marcarita. The Grand Priest admitted he once thought the same, but they were wrong. Goku made the choice to follow her. He did not completely blame the Saiyan. Goku was simply following the wishes of his wife, because he was blinded by his immense love for her. Beerus understood. The Grand Priest declared these acts of treason and chaos would not be ignored. Grand Zeno had ordered the immediate execution of both without hesitation. All the angels and gods were stunned. Goku was the only friend of Grand Zeno, but he received no special treatment. He would be executed. The first Grand Zeno confirmed it was a direct order. The second Grand Zeno promised to provide their exact coordinates, so the gods could carry out the command. Both Omni Kings declared the traitors must pay with their lives. The gods bowed and agreed. The Omni Kings vanished. The Grand Priest ordered everyone to execute the command within 24 hours. He warned them to prepare because the enemy was incredibly strong. He then dismissed them. Everyone teleported away. Once he was completely alone, the Grand Priest dropped to his knees. He breathed heavily. He asked aloud why Marcarita was causing her father such immense pain. He had done everything he could. He had begged for mercy for her and her husband. He risked everything for her, and this was the path she chose. He pleaded for his daughter to at least repent and die with dignity. He whispered an apology into the empty air. He apologized for not realizing what was happening sooner. He apologized for letting her turn into a heartless monster. He asked his daughter to forgive him for failing to protect her. Far away in Universe 7, Beerus called the news absolutely unbelievable. Whis agreed. He never thought things would escalate this far. Beerus admitted he assumed the worst punishment for Marcarita would be the infinite prison. He never imagined a death sentence. Whis solemnly noted that Grand Zeno was a terrifying entity. In an unknown location, Marcarita sat in a chair. Her body absorbed dark essence to increase her power in exchange for agonizing pain. Goku begged her to stop. She refused. She insisted she had to get stronger for what was coming. Black lightning arched off her body. She radiated a terrifying power that would strike fear into any god or angel. Marcarita cheered that the dark energy flowed perfectly through her. She had completely merged with it even though it was absolute poison to her biology. She could barely maintain consciousness. Goku asked if she was finally satisfied. He promised never to let her do it again. She told him to relax. With this power she could defeat anyone. She also revealed they had the Super Dragon Balls on their side. She had modified them. They would be ready soon and capable of destroying everyone. Marcarita flashed a massive smile before passing out completely. Goku told her to rest. He promised it would all be over soon. He swore to give her back the life she had. He promised to return the happiness she lost because of him. Goku picked up his beautiful angel and carried her to bed. He then went to the room holding the Super Dragon Balls and sat in front of them. He thought about the terrible but necessary wish. A single wish would change everything and destroy millions of lives. Goku slammed his fist into the ground in fury. He cursed himself. He blamed himself for everything. If only he had not been foolish enough to spare seals. If only Marcarita had never met him. He believed he was the only one truly guilty for this entire tragedy. Guilt tormented the Saiyan. He did not know how to save Marcarita or prevent the impending massacre. He decided the only thing he could do was support her to the bitter end. He stood up and went to train. Getting stronger was the only way to protect his beloved. Hours passed. The deadline arrived. The assault was about to begin. Marcarita announced that the time had come. Everything would be decided today. They would finally find out if they could be together forever. Goku promised to stay by her side until the very end. They held hands and looked up. The planet was surrounded by incredibly powerful demons sworn to protect it at all costs. The dark energy made the monsters terrifyingly strong. In the distance, the 12 gods and their angels rapidly approached. They had one single goal: eliminate the Saiyan and the angel who declared war on the multiverse. Marcarita stood in the palace garden and stared at the sky. A confusing mix of emotions swirled inside her. She wondered if she felt fear or guilt, or perhaps even excitement. Her fate would be decided in minutes. Her perfect vision tracked Grand Zeno and his army approaching to eradicate them. She ordered her demon army to swarm the planet and slaughter anyone who got close. Goku watched her from a short distance. He saw how the beautiful woman he loved had completely lost her mind and was ready to destroy existence itself. He felt immense guilt, but his instinct to protect her overpowered his shame. He would fight anyone who dared lay a finger on her. He accepted that he would become a murderer today. He would become the very thing he always hated. Goku looked down at his hands. Dark energy granted by Marcarita pulsed through his veins. It was a terrifying weapon capable of killing an angel. It completely neutralized the Hawkeye of a god of destruction. Furthermore, Marcarita had created a technique capable of evading the ultimate erasure of Grand Zeno. She had secretly developed it since her twisted plan first took root. It seemed impossible, but she perfected it. Now they just had to wait. Goku approached his wife. He took her hand and gave her a warm smile. She asked if something was wrong. Goku said he just wanted to be with her for a moment longer. She smiled and asked if he was ready. Goku swore he was ready for anything as long as it was for her. Marcarita hugged him tightly with a beautifully angelic smile. She promised to love him forever. Goku told her never to doubt his love either. They stared deeply into the eyes of one another. An explosion in the sky finally broke their gaze. Marcarita declared it was time. She summoned her staff and telepathically commanded her demons to begin the battle. A colossal clash of unprecedented power shook the cosmos as the angels and demons collided. The two Omni Kings watched with clear disgust. A force field surrounded the planet and completely negated their erasure technique. They found it thoroughly unpleasant. They wanted this over quickly. The first Grand Zeno called the technique a major threat. The second agreed that her survival was a danger to his own existence. That was intolerable. They ordered the Grand Priest to enter the battle and wipe out the demons. He bowed and complied. The tiny kings remained floating with their guards. They watched the carnage with terrifying serenity. Despite their best efforts, the gods and angels were heavily outnumbered. Their stamina rapidly dropped. But the intervention of the Grand Priest changed everything. He exterminated the demon army in mere moments. Vadis thanked her father. The Grand Priest stated it was time to correct the evil caused by his foolish daughter. All the deities descended to the planet at once. The Grand Priest stood at the front. Marcarita and Goku stood opposite them. The tension was suffocating. The Grand Priest broke the deathly silence. He formally addressed Marcarita. By order of Grand Zeno, she was stripped of her angelic position. She would face the ultimate penalty for violating divine law. He then addressed Goku. He stripped the Saiyan of his divine title. Goku was sentenced to 1,000,000 years of imprisonment in the realm of darkness. Afterward he would be stripped of his memories and power to become a mere mortal again. Goku and Marcarita remained silent. The Grand Priest sighed. He approached them with a menacing glare. Marcarita ordered her father to stop right there. She declared he had no authority on this planet. Not even Grand Zeno had authority here. She told them they were nobodies who could not just show up and do whatever they pleased. The Grand Priest criticized her for still defying his authority after everything she had done. Marcarita asked if he was deaf. She brushed it off and noted he brought an army. She mocked him for being so afraid that he needed his subordinates for protection. The Grand Priest warned her to choose her words carefully. Marcarita feigned surprise. She mocked him for still calling her his daughter. She assumed he had already disowned her. Vados pleaded with her sister to stop. She asked if she understood what she had done. Vados scolded her for insulting the highest authority. She wondered if Marcarita had forgotten the power of their father. Marcarita calmly stated she remembered it perfectly. She admitted she used to be jealous of it. But that was in the past. Marcarita flared her dark aura. Her terrifying power skyrocketed. Everyone immediately took a fighting stance. The Grand Priest noted how far she had fallen. She had trampled on her own position as an angel. He promised her absolutely no mercy. The Grand Priest launched a ridiculously fast strike at Marcarita. It was useless. Moving faster than anyone could see, Marcarita effortlessly caught his fist and completely neutralized his attack. She asked if he really thought she would face him without a plan. She mocked him for never truly knowing his own daughter. Marcarita delivered a devastating blow. The Grand Priest was sent flying far away. The angels could not believe their eyes. It was an impossible featuring Marcarita announced the beginning of the end. Her power surged even higher. Goku tapped into his perfected Ultra Instinct, but this time his glowing silver aura was tainted with swirling black energy. Beerus called him an idiot. He scolded Goku for staining the purity of the technique with filthy dark energy. Goku replied that he would do whatever it took to be with Marcarita, even if it meant killing every single one of them. Beerus expressed his absolute disappointment. All the gods of destruction attacked Goku simultaneously. The angels swarmed Marcarita. The impact of their colliding powers shook the universe itself. The planet of Goku instantly disintegrated into dust. The surviving demons tried to flee but were annihilated along with the planet. Goku and Marcarita masterfully dodged the incoming strikes with Ultra Instinct. The gods were so shocked that they genuinely considered the possibility of losing. The dark energy allowed Marcarita to land devastating blows on the angels. Every contact drained their stamina. Meanwhile, Goku showed zero signs of fatigue. No matter how much he moved or fought, he never tired. This caught the attention of everyone. The Grand Priest demanded to know what Goku had done. Goku simply stated he did what was necessary to win. The Grand Priest quickly realized the truth. Goku had modified the Spirit Bomb technique. Instead of asking for energy, he was violently ripping it from anyone near him. Goku and Marcarita made a flawless team. The beautiful angel repelled the high-tier attacks, while Goku continuously drained the stamina of the gods and angels. The two Omni Kings decided they had seen enough. They prepared to end the battle. The first Grand Zeno stated Universe 13 never should have been revived. The second added that they thought Goku could purify it from the evil of the past. The first admitted they made a mistake. The second firmly stated he despised mistakes. The tiny gods began charging a colossal attack designed to reduce the entire universe to atoms. Their instant erasure did not work here, but their power was not limited to just that. They charged a divine technique that required time but possessed absolute destructive power. Marcarita told Goku things were getting complicated. It was time to initiate their final plan. Goku agreed. Marcarita gathered every ounce of power her body could handle. The dark energy consumed her life force, but she was prepared for it. Black ki condensed in her hands and formed massive blades. Without hesitation, she launched herself at the gods. They did not expect the sudden aggression. In less than a second, she drove her blade straight through Gene of Universe 12. He died instantly. Jampa panicked and asked what that was. Vados realized Marcarita was abandoning defense for pure offense, while Goku drained their energy. Beerus yelled that they were out of time. Beerus and Jampa charged at Goku. Marcarita intercepted them and impaled both of their shoulders with her blades. She warned them not to even think about it. The wounded gods floated helplessly in the void of space. The Grand Priest felt his energy draining rapidly. He charged at Goku, but Marcarita blocked him again. The Grand Priest yelled at her to stop. He told her the end was near. He urged her to surrender and lose with a shred of her remaining honor. Marcarita paused for a moment. She admitted he might be right. Her words shocked everyone. The Grand Priest assumed she finally understood. He declared it was time for Grand Zeno to deliver her punishment. He turned his back for a fraction of a second. Marcarita instantly drove her dark blades into his back. She agreed her end might be near, but she promised to take them all with her. Furious, the Grand Priest unleashed a supreme technique. Goku and Marcarita were trapped within it along with several injured gods. The Grand Priest apologized to the deities for the collateral damage, but insisted it was necessary. Helios assured him they understood. When the smoke cleared, Goku and Marcarita were still standing. They were heavily wounded but alive. The Grand Priest called them stubborn and promised they would suffer more. Marcarita yelled for Goku to do it now. She pulled the Super Dragon Balls from her staff. Goku immediately began reciting the incantation to activate them. The Grand Priest panicked. The guards of Grand Zeno joined the battle. Marcarita launched herself at all three powerful entities to buy time. A massive deafening roar echoed through space. Super Shenron materialized. The Grand Priest did not waste a single second. He spoke the language of the gods and ordered the dragon to leave. But nothing happened. Marcarita called him a fool. She mocked him for thinking she had not prepared for that. She explained that her modifications meant only the summoner could make a wish now. The dragon was entirely under their control. Marcarita had her hands wrapped tightly around the throats of the guards. Meanwhile, the Grand Priest pressed his staff fiercely against her neck. He was slowly suffocating her. The gods and angels were paralyzed by the supreme technique of the Grand Priest. The Omni Kings were still charging their attack. Everything depended solely on Goku. The Grand Priest desperately urged Goku to think about what he was doing. He asked if one life was worth more than millions. Marcarita gasped for air and told Goku to kill them all. Goku remained completely silent. The Grand Priest screamed at him to tell the dragon to leave. Marcarita begged Goku to do it. Goku looked deeply into the eyes of his wife. He gave her a warm smile full of absolute love. He apologized and said this was what was best for her. Marcarita did not understand what he meant. She watched the man she loved turn to the massive golden dragon. Goku thought to himself that he had two wishes now. He wished that Marcarita had never met him, and that everything would return to exactly how it was before they met. Tears streamed down the face of Marcarita. The eyes of the dragon flashed red. The wish was granted. Goku apologized one last time. A blinding golden light engulfed everything, and brought the terrible war to an end. Goku woke up after the light faded. He remembered everything that happened. He felt empty and profoundly sad. In a way, he had completely betrayed the woman he loved. He looked around and realized he was standing in the middle of a field late at night. If his memory was correct, he was supposed to meet Marcarita tomorrow. But he was going to change everything now. He would cast aside his own love for the greater good. It was a small personal sacrifice for universal peace. Hours passed. Then something unexpected happened. The Grand Priest suddenly appeared right in front of him. Goku was stunned and asked what he was doing there. The Grand Priest asked if Goku really thought the Super Dragon Balls would affect the right hand of the Omni King. Goku admitted he thought they would. The Grand Priest sighed and sat down on the grass next to Goku. He revealed that only Grand Zeno Goku and himself remembered everything. He told Goku he made the right choice in the end. Goku replied quietly. He just said yes. The Grand Priest explained that Grand Zeno forgave their actions, because technically they had not happened yet. Goku expressed his deep gratitude. The Grand Priest then revealed something else. Although Marcarita had proven to be a universal threat, Grand Zeno allowed him to save something of hers. Goku asked what he saved. The Grand Priest stated he saved her memories. Goku stood up in complete shock. The Grand Priest admitted he made a mistake thinking they would be a perfect god and angel pair. He promised not to make that mistake again. Goku asked what he planned to do. The Grand Priest explained that the mind of Marcarita had been completely shattered. Her judgment was hopelessly clouded by madness, but he had purged the darkness from her memories. He only preserved the beautiful moments she shared with Goku. Goku asked what that meant. The Grand Priest announced that Grand Zeno was giving them a second chance, but things would be different this time. A portal opened. Marcarita stepped out with a bright, happy smile. Goku asked what she was doing here. She cheerfully greeted Son Goku, the Saiyan of Universe 7. The Grand Priest noted she did not remember anything yet. He turned to his daughter and declared she was no longer an angel. She would be stripped of all her divine powers. Marcarita was shocked by the decree, but she ultimately accepted it. She gave up her angelic status to become a completely normal mortal. Marcarita asked her father what she should do now. He promised she was being given a second chance. The Grand Priest gently touched her forehead. In less than a second, all her purified memories flooded back. She remembered every beautiful moment with Goku. The madness was gone. She was the sweet, gentle angel he originally fell in love with. Goku asked if she was okay. Without saying a word, Marcarita threw her arms around him. Tears poured from her eyes. She begged for his forgiveness and blamed herself for everything. Goku held her tightly. He refused to let her take the blame. He insisted he was the only one at fault. The Grand Priest watched them with a warm smile. He told Marcarita her actions were the ultimate crime, but since they technically never happened, she would not be judged for them. However, she would now live and die as a mortal. Marcarita bowed her head. She thanked him for his mercy and the mercy of Grand Zeno. The Grand Priest told her she was free to live her life however she pleased. The world of gods and angels would never cross paths with her again. He urged her to make the most of this second and final chance. She promised she would. The Grand Priest gave a small smile and vanished. Goku and Marcarita were left completely alone in the field. They held hands tightly. Marcarita smiled and said they could finally start over. Goku agreed. He promised nothing would ever stand between them again. Marcarita smiled brightly as the sun began to rise. The golden morning light illuminated the grassy plains. A woman who was once an angel and a Saiyan who was once a god shared a passionate kiss. They displayed a profound love that had faced the end of the multiverse and survived. No one would ever separate them again. They had finally discovered what it meant to experience true absolute love.